suspect!
Coming to get you, Bobber.
Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to my Evil Dead movie review series. Today we're going to be talking about Army of Darkness from 1992. Now this is the first movie in the franchise that I truly watched and understood, and I don't know if it's because of its tone, because obviously they toned it down a little bit for a less mature audience, but this is the first movie that I watched numerous times and really enjoyed it. This is the first time in the franchise that they massively changed the tone of the film. I think everyone obviously knew that. The first two movies were more darker. Yes, the second one had a bit of comedy in it, but it was still supposed to be a pure horror movie. Whereas Army of Darkness felt more like an action-adventure film that is made for the whole family to enjoy. And if that wasn't the intention, I think we got it wrong in our household, because we watched Army of Darkness numerous times as a family because we watched it as a family movie. There were some scary moments in it, but I think they were outweighed by the comedy and the adventure and fun that we had before and after the scenes that were supposed to be scary. So I had a blast with it as a kid, and that's what made me watch the first two movies again, because I enjoyed Army of Darkness so much. I did scratch my head a few times when I watched it for the first couple of times as a kid, thinking, where did this guy come from? Why is he sitting at this cabin at the start of the movie? Did something happen at the cabin? How did that happen? I asked those questions later in life, why I didn't ask those questions, but at the time I just accepted it. Now, why did they change the tone of the series? Now, I didn't read up on it for this review, but I did read back in the day that Sam Raimi, he kept on getting told to cut this, cut that, cut this, cut that for the first two Evil Dead movies. And he said to himself, I can't be bothered doing that again. I'm just going to make what Hollywood want me to make. And this is what we got with Army of Darkness. So I think he made the movie thinking it's going to be bad, but in actual fact, it was absolutely fantastic. When you think of movies back in the day as a child and you watched and you quote those movies as an older kid, you know, I think the one that I do it the most with is Jack Burton and Big Trouble in Little China, played by Kurt Russell. And I think you've all got your favourite movie quotes. And I think if you said to me, tell me the 10 most quotable movies of all time, I would tell you Big Trouble in Little China, etc. And in that top 10, and I'm sure you'll agree, would be Army of Darkness.
Klaatu, Murata.
For me, I think this is Bruce Campbell's greatest role in any movie of his whole entire life. And that includes the first two Evil Dead movies. It doesn't mean Army of Darkness is a better movie. It just means that this is the Ash that we should all know and love today. And again, I've not seen the TV show. I'm assuming he's like that in the TV show. It's more comedy. But this is the Ash that I love. He battles the demons with all the quotes and all the quick one-liners that he has. It just reminds me of Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China. Don't know if that's what they're going for, but this is the Ash that I love. He was great in the first two movies, but this is peak Ash. This is prime Ash. Watching this film, it clearly had a bigger budget. It had quite a big budget for its day, and I just wish, going back to what we said about the first movie, just imagine what Sam Raimi could have done with the budget that he had for Army of Darkness. Imagine he had that budget over 10 years earlier with The Evil Dead. It would have been an astounding movie. But he did use his money wisely. He thought, I'm going to give Hollywood what they want, and this is what Hollywood want. And in actual fact, it was good. But he did have a bigger budget, so I think that's maybe why Ash was so much better, because he had so much more screen time. The lighting of the film was so much better. Everything about it was just so much better than the first two movies in terms of the quality and the look of the film. It was much better. But if we go into the shift in tone and the shift in scenario, did I like it? Yes, I did like it. I think I love that fish out of water scenario where someone goes somewhere where they shouldn't be, like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It's sort of like that, but horror mode. And in the Evil Dead franchise, where Ash finds himself in a medieval time, what would they do? How would you react to what he does? And I think I would do the same as him in terms of showing people my gun or my boomstick.
This is my boomstick.
It's just that fish out of water scenario that you just love to watch. So the shift in tone and the scenario itself was different. Some people might not like it, and in fact I know that people didn't like that. But if you don't do that, and with the way that the first two Evil Dead movies led you to, what do? Do you sit in a cabin again for 90 minutes? I wouldn't, because you've done that in the first two movies. So as much as I think it's a risky move, I think it was probably the best choice that Sam Raimi could have made for a third movie. Overall guys, the story was fun, the movie was fun, it didn't take itself too seriously, and then thanks to Army of Darkness and thanks to the way that they made it, introduced me to the franchise, and it made me want to watch the first two movies. That was clever. It was probably non-intentional, but it was clever because it got me interested in the franchise. It made me want to rewatch the first movie again if I didn't see it before, and I'm sure I did. But it made me want to watch it again. It made me fall in love with the franchise at the time. Don't love it just now because there's hardly any movies in the franchise, but it still made me interested in the franchise thanks to Army of Darkness. I'm not saying it's the best in the series because I had the most fun with it, but I still really enjoyed it. So what do you think guys? Is it the best in the franchise? Leave the comments down below, let me know what you think. If you don't think it's the best in the franchise, please tell me you think or you had the most fun with it. As always guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.